Hey guys, Jordan here, and I have an update today on Wednesday Night Clix. I ended up playing with the fellow you see in front of you, and that is the AntiMonitor. So I just wanted to show you this cool feature he has. He actually lights up, so he glows out of his eyes and mouth, kind of like the character does in the comics. So that is a very nice little feature. Let me get the lights here now, so we can actually see. So he's pretty cool. You can play him at 600, 800, or 1,000 points. And we did a 800 point battle. So I used him, and he was my only figure that I used. And I ended up going 1 and 2. It was pretty fun. I actually really did enjoy using him. His multi-attack ability is really cool. And let's just go over his special powers and stuff real quick. So he can use the multi-attack ability where you give him a power action and then he gets 2 free actions. He has phasing teleport, psychic blast. All the power at my command shall be used to destroy you. The AntiMonitor can use psychic blast and quake. When he uses quake, do not replace his damage value, so that's very nice. This is the day the universe dies. Quake, you will die. Pulse wave. It is my destiny to expand my power, which is impervious. I shall not be stopped in vulnerability. I will tolerate no further defeats. Toughness. Who dares resist me? Outwit. And then my favorite thing is I will not die until you die with me, here at the bottom. And that is, once per turn, the AntiMonitor can use exploit weakness. At the end of the round, if no character opposing to the AntiMonitor was defeated or eliminated this round, roll 2d6 and subtract the AntiMonitor's unmodified damage value. Minimum result 1. Heal the AntiMonitor of damage equal to the result. So that's really cool. That's a really nice way to keep him alive. So my first battle, I went up against Tyler, Carnage USA, or I think that's his username. I need to look it up, but yeah. I've mentioned him in many of my previous videos, because I always end up playing him, and then he always ends up beating me, unfortunately. Next week we're actually doing teams, so I snagged him as a partner, so I'm predicting a victory. That was a fun match. He had a really nice team. He used 3 Frost Giants at 100 points, and then he had Loki and Hela and somebody else, I forget who. But Loki managed to pick up Thor's hammer. If you haven't seen Thor's hammer in action, it's an item. It's free to use, and you get 1 chance with each character when they land on it. You give them a power action and they roll, and if they roll a 6, they pick it up. And it gives them like +2 to attack, +2 damage. It gives them flying if they don't have flying already. It's just beastly. And Loki picked that up on his first turn. He got TK'd onto it, and then he rolled for it, and he got it. But the hardest part was the Frost Giants came at AntiMonitor, and he didn't have much trouble dealing with them. But then Loki, he was trying to get to Loki, because Loki's really the linchpin for that whole team. And Loki has an ability where he can use Mastermind, but instead of having to be adjacent to a character, he just has to be within 4 squares. So just having the Frost Giants around Loki made it very tough to get any damage through to him. And then AntiMonitor succumbed to the damage he was taking from penetrating psychic blast shots and that kind of thing, especially when Loki's doing 5 damage per turn. So that's tough. But I really like this figure. I've had him sitting around for a while. I actually picked him up in an eBay auction for $15 with 2 action figures. So I was just very excited. They didn't know what this was. They thought it was just an action figure, when it's actually I believe it's a Chicago convention exclusive. I might be wrong on that, but I believe that's what it is. And it's just an awesome figure. Looks great. It was still a lot of fun to play with. My second match was the one that I won, which it wasn't that great, just because the person I was playing was using a whole bunch of the older figures, and he just had a whole bunch of them, so turns took forever. So I didn't get that many chances to do anything with AntiMonitor, because when you're using him, your turns are very fast. and so it was basically a lot of sitting around waiting on that one. But I did end up winning that one. He just had so many people. He used a lot of the checkmate knights trying to use their enhancement to take shots at AntiMonitor. And then he had a bunch of prob control so he could do rerolls and stuff, but he didn't take out AntiMonitor, so I spent a lot of time just knocking the checkmate knights off of their first click so they didn't have the enhancement anymore, so they couldn't really do anything. And then finally, like when time was running out, he had a leech out there also, so I just blasted leech once to kill him, and then time ran out. So that was the only character that was killed that entire game, so that was kind of boring. And then my last game, I lost. I played against a team that had the Shazam and Black Adam piece, and also Superman. And AntiMonitor, out of all the attacks he took, he hit once, and that's including using like his multi-attack, so he could attack twice per turn. And yeah, that was... The dice gods were not with me that game. So he starts out with a 13 attack, so the only person he hit had a 16 defense, so yeah, I needed my rolls to be 3, and so that's the only time I hit, literally, the entire game. There were other times where I needed just like a 5, and I'd have 2 chances to roll a 5. I ended up rolling a 3 and a 4, so that was just one of those games. It happens. We did a rematch just for fun. It didn't count towards like tournament or anything. But then AntiMonitor actually got his rolls, and he ended up beating that team. So it was just unlucky. But still, he's a lot of fun to play with. I'd definitely like to check him out at his 1,000-point level at some point. I mean, he starts with a 19 defense instead of 18, and he still has impervious. So I think that would be a lot of fun. And just to do a quick size comparison, I'll push him back there real quick so you can kind of see. There's his base with that stuff. And then an average sized heroclix. We'll put the Bruce Banner LE next to him. So you can see how much bigger he is than most of them. Like, he's even bigger than the giant size X-Men colossal figures. So that's really, really cool. And he's not like ridiculously large like the Fin Fang Foom piece or the Galactus piece. Those ones are really, really big, but I definitely would like to get them at some point. But it wouldn't be Clix Night without me buying another comic while I was there. I picked up my regular pull list stuff, and then I've kind of been trying to just add to my collection, like getting one key issue at a time, like just one a week when I go visit. So this week, I got Amazing Spider-Man 299. And this is a very good one. This is the first brief appearance of Venom. So you can see Spider-Man is in his black outfit in this one. 300 is the first full appearance. 298 had Venom's shadow in a panel, but this is like the first time you actually see Venom. So this is a very nice comic. Very glad I picked it up. It's in really good condition, so definitely glad to add it to my collection. Anyways, that's my little recap of Wednesday night, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and please comment, rate, and subscribe.